Well, ladies and gentlemen, hold me by the Falcon 9's landing gear, because we've got Elon Musk in orbit, and he's once again trying to land his reputation. Except this time, it's right on Donald Trump's lap. Yes, the same Elon who, just a couple of weeks ago, was calling Trump a national disaster, is now tweeting, "I regret some of my posts about President Donald Trump." Wow. Someone hit reverse and forgot to turn off the geolocation. Let's be clear. Elon Musk, genius, billionaire, space dreamer, and, apparently, the owner of the most fragile political spine in the world. Because this isn't just a pivot, it's a triple backflip with a landing at Trump Tower. Apologizing is one thing, but regretting some posts, knowing which posts we're talking about, that's a three-ring circus with Republican clowns. We're not talking about just some spicy tweets. We're talking about Musk, accusing Trump of trying to destroy the Constitution, calling for his impeachment in real time, prime time, while retweeting memes of Trump in a diaper with captions like, "National Security Leak," claiming that without Musk's and his bots' intervention, Trump would never have won an election. Oh, and casually hinting that Trump's name was tied to Jeffrey Epstein's list. So, Elon, we're really curious. Which part of this do you regret? Maybe the "Trump's a pedophile" jab? Or the "I own you all" vibe? Because when someone makes a step back like this, they better make sure they're not kicking themselves in the face. The host, that's me, is sitting here watching this like it's a billionaire who's genuinely screwed up for the first time but doesn't know how to apologize like a human. This isn't even "I was wrong." It's "I was right, but it's not profitable anymore." Or, in simpler terms, "I invested in a new devil, and the old one needs my rockets again." You see, Trump's got an election coming up, and Elon's no fool. He knows that Twitter, or X, as it's now fashionably called, thanks, Elon, we're all thrilled with the new name, it sounds like a porn site mixed with a tax form, is MAGA's main campaign platform. If Trump gets back to the White House, guess who's first in line for tax breaks? Bingo. So Musk crawls back, crawls on Twitter, crawls live on air, crawls, leaving a trail of phrases like, "We need to unite," "Enough division," "Time to be on the same side of history." Yeah, buddy, you already picked a side. You planted your flag on the moon of hate and launched a "Go F yourself" rocket at Trump. Now you're coming back like nothing happened, like we all forgot. We didn't forget. Twitter didn't forget. Screenshots definitely didn't forget. And trust me, Trump hasn't forgotten either. Because his memory is like that of a scorned teenager, only with nuclear weapons. He holds grudges like a grandma holds on to her pill recipe. And he doesn't forgive. He smiles, shakes your hand, then adds your name to the "Destroy in 2027" list. If Elon thinks his little tweet canceled the feud, he's mistaken. Because Trump's mind works differently. There's no forgiveness there. Only ratings. And if you ever publicly called him an idiot, you're gonna pay. With money, attention, followers. Preferably all at once. So, Elon, welcome back to the MAGA family. Just know, you're not a guest anymore. You're a pet. You're on a leash. And every time Trump decides to take his ego for a walk, you're the one he'll drag to the show. And us? We'll be watching, because this is the best reality show on Earth. Title: Elon and Donald, Love, Rockets, and Old Grudges. The day after the great tweet, "Reconciliation," Elon Musk tried to act like nothing weird happened. He showed up in his usual getup, black t-shirt, smug half-smile, the "I'm not like other billionaires, I'm thinking about Mars" pose, and sat down with journalists like he was just there to talk about eco-friendly batteries. Even the batteries looked embarrassed. The first question: Are you really apologizing to Donald Trump? Musk, without blinking. I regret some of my posts. The world needs reconciliation. Reconciliation? Elon, you weren't hosting a family dinner. You accused a former president of aiding crimes against humanity. You called him a threat to democracy. And now, a month later, you're talking about some posts? That's like the Titanic sinking, and the captain saying, certain navigational inaccuracies were made. But let's peek behind the curtain, because this whole circus isn't about feelings. It's about calculation. Cold, tech-driven calculation, the kind Elon Musk is made of. He doesn't make friends. He invests. He doesn't support. He places bets on the table of power. And at some point, he realized, listen, Donnie might walk back into the White House. If I don't act now, when he raises his finger and says, that guy's the enemy, my businesses are screwed. Tesla, blocked shipments, Neuralink, branded as a child-chipping scheme, SpaceX, nationalized under the guise of alien threat protection. Elon's not dumb. He always goes where the power is. That's why he hops between parties like a rabbit on a political trampoline. Today, he's a libertarian, tomorrow a Republican, the day after that, maybe a Buddhist with conservative views and NFT icons. His credo: I'm above politics, but if it affects profits, I'll sing anyone's anthem. Especially if there's a mic and a camera in the room. And Trump? He's looking at this like a dish he didn't order, but got for free. He's the old restaurant critic who says, edible, but he'll pay for it. Elon forgot one thing. Trump only forgives those who grovel loudly. One tweet isn't enough. Donald wants a show. He wants Musk to go on Fox News and say, I was foolish. I was blinded by leftist lies. Only leader Trump restored my sight and my stock value. And you know what? That might happen. Musk's already winking at the crowd, hinting he's not that against MAGA. He's refollowed accounts tied to QAnon. He's liking posts saying, Trump was right about everything. He even commented on a Trump rally video. Strong message. America needs stability. Stability? Seriously? The guy with more criminal cases than Elon had hot dinners as a kid is now the symbol of stability? But Musk isn't alone. He's just the first to crawl back through the door he sealed with memes and insults. Others will follow. Because Trump isn't just a politician. He's a magnet. He pulls in everything that wobbles. And if you're a billionaire with corporations tied to federal contracts, you'll have to ask yourself, maybe Donald's not so bad after all. Meanwhile, in the White House corridors, rumors are swirling. One aide allegedly jokes, Elon's our new Martian liaison. We'll give him a flag to plant first. Another says, if he brings Twitter, we'll forget everything he wrote, but only if he hands it over with apologies and a striptease to Born in the USA. Hyperbole, sure. But hyperbole, like Trump, is awfully close to reality these days. And the users? Those who still remember Musk isn't a saint. They're commenting under his posts. So, your spine just rebooted itself? Wow, from revolutionary to Republican pet in 48 hours. Daddy Trump called, and you came running like a golden retriever. Elon ignores them, of course, but his algorithms remember. His PR team is already prepping a new wave of friendly tweets. Soon, we might see. President Trump is a misunderstood genius, just like me. Only Trump can lead America to Mars and beyond. MAGA, make America go autonomous. And the most absurd part? We'll believe it, not because he's convincing, but because we're used to it. Used to truth being erased. Used to tweets being deleted. Used to allies being swapped like phone cases. Elon is a reflection of the era. Rich, influential, unprincipled, and memoryless. He thinks it'll all be forgotten, that he'll be a hero again, that memes will erase scandals, that wishing for stability sounds smarter than "I caved." But he's wrong. Because unlike Twitter, people still have screenshots. And we have memory. And we have a language to call things what they are. That's where the real show begins. Because while Elon Musk childishly kicks at the puddle of his reputation, posting things like, "I get it, let's live in peace," Donald Trump sits in his golden chair, sipping Diet Coke, watching one of the most influential people on earth turn into another vassal in his court circus. And Trump doesn't just watch, he enjoys it. Because to please Trump, you have to come crawling, live on air, preferably with an American flag in your teeth and a sign around your neck. I was wrong. The problem is, Musk doesn't know how to apologize. He knows how to churn out slippery, tech-packaged half-statements like, "Some tweets went too far," or "Emotions were high." Translation from Musk speak to human. I did it all on purpose, but now I'm scared of the backlash. Because this whole hysteria isn't about sudden clarity. It's plain fear. Fear of Trump returning to the White House. Fear of tax audits. Fear of losing contracts. Fear that one day the White House might say, "Why do we need a space program from a guy who's against America?" That's where the panic comes from. Elon senses the game is about to start again, where you either lick the right boots or become an enemy of the people. And he's making his choice, the choice to lick. But he does it the way he does everything, awkwardly, with pomp and an inflated sense of self. He could have quietly stepped out of the line of fire. But no, he comes back with a giant banner. "I'm with you again, friends," even though no one invited him. The audience sees through it. Even MAGA fans, the most loyal Trump commenters, look at this soap opera and say, "Wait, this is the same Musk who said Trump was a threat to democracy? The one who said Biden was better? Now he's with us?" And here's where it gets interesting. Even Trump isn't rushing to embrace him. He comments on the reconciliation in his style, via Truth Social. Nice to see Elon thinking clearly again. Took him long enough. Some people just need more time to mature. Translation: You're pathetic, you groveled, I forgive you, but I won't forget. Elon's being told, "You're back, but you're not an equal. You're a domesticated billionaire now. Your job is to bark on command and launch rockets when told. You're no longer a visionary, you're a tool. You're needed not for your intellect, but for owning Twitter X, which can become a propaganda machine again." Elon seems to realize this too late. He tried one more step, posting, "Disagreements shouldn't stop us from building a better future." The replies, disagreements like accusing someone of pedophilia? Disagreements are when you argue with your wife, not when you call for a president's impeachment. Elon, you really think we're that stupid? The internet is like an elephant. It doesn't forget. It waits, and it's waiting now. But let's face facts for a second. Musk didn't just embarrass himself. He lost face. He betrayed his own words. He trampled them, rolled them up, and sent them to Trump's personal archive. Because now, everything he says will be judged through the lens of this shameful pivot. Every time he talks about principles, people will throw that "I regret some of my posts" screenshot in his face. Because if you're willing to apologize for the truth for profit, you'll never be free. You'll forever be the guy bought with a promise of tax amnesty. And speaking of ex-Twitter, if you think Musk apologized just like that, you're underestimating the level of backroom deals. Rumors are swirling that they're discussing bringing Trump back to X permanently with exclusive terms. No censorship, no bans, absolute freedom. In other words, Elon's ready to hand over his platform, completely, no strings attached, just to avoid future revenge. That's not a deal. That's political surrender. Everything Musk does now isn't an act of strength. It's an act of fear. He's trembling. He's scared of falling out of favor with the Republican machine. Scared his businesses will be crushed. Scared his biography will become a meme about the genius who flipped mid-flight. And yes, that fear is real. But it's making him do things that aren't funny anymore. They're pathetic. He's not a leader. He's a rich panic merchant with satellite access. He's not a tech messiah. He's a PR disaster who doesn't know when to stop. He's not a symbol of the future. He's a meme with a past that won't let go. And the worst part? He thinks we'll forget. That we'll forgive. That a few unifying tweets will make it all work again. But it doesn't. Not the words. Not the rockets. Not Tesla. Not X. Because people see he's not defending principles. He's defending himself. And there's nothing great about that. Just cowardice wrapped in expensive packaging. When a billionaire with a superhero complex suddenly does a 180, it's usually not an epiphany, but a whisper from Washington. Elections are coming, and you don't want to be on the wrong list. That's what's happening with Elon Musk. His sudden pivot toward Donald Trump isn't a gesture of friendship, a political signal, or a call for unity. It's panic. Cold, calculated, strategic panic disguised as reason. He's shaking hands with the man he called a threat to humanity yesterday, just because he's scared of being the next one erased from the map of contracts, markets, and political influence. Look at it from the outside. For years, Musk distanced himself from Trump. He quit his counsels, criticized his policies, mocked him on Twitter, funded projects opposing his ideology. Then, suddenly, silence. One day, apologies. The next, tweets hinting at an alliance. The third, silent approval. The fourth, total erasure of his past words. He destroyed his own stance, scrubbed it, boxed it up, and locked it away out of fear. Let's not forget, Trump isn't just a person. He's a brand of vengeance. He doesn't forgive. He waits. He keeps score. He smiles, but in his pocket is a list of names he'll cross out when the time comes. And Musk knows he's on that list. Or was. Now he's knocking on the door like a prodigal son nobody invited back. I regret isn't about remorse. It's because he saw the news. Trump's ratings are climbing. Election attention is growing. The Republican machine is moving. And he's left alone, in the ex-CEO chair, with scandals, falling trust, anti-Semitic theories on the platform, and advertisers fleeing like rats from the Titanic. Musk's trying to hang on. He thinks, maybe if I show I'm useful, they'll spare me. It's like a rich kid on the schoolyard realizing he's not invited to play soccer anymore and starts bringing everyone soda just to avoid a punch to the gut. Pathetic and dangerous. Because this kid has access to satellites, information streams, and algorithms shaping public opinion. He can control what people see, read, and discuss. And now he's putting it at the service of a man he wouldn't have trusted with the office coffee machine yesterday. Look at how he's cleaning his platform. Old posts about Trump's destructive policies are deleted. Tweets calling for impeachment are hidden. Likes are scrubbed. Elon pretends it doesn't matter, that the future's what counts. But this isn't Black Mirror, where you can delete memories with a button. We remember. The internet remembers. And most importantly, Trump remembers. Now, how's Donald greeting these attempts to get back in the game? He doesn't respond directly. He drops cryptic comments. At a Georgia rally, he says, "You know, there are these smarty pants in Silicon Valley. Said a lot of bad things about me. Now they're calling, writing, apologizing, saying, you were right. And I tell them, too late, but maybe you'll still be useful." That's not reconciliation. That's humiliation. Public, cold, vengeful. It's a warning to other billionaires. Stray, and you'll crawl back, on your knees. Elon, in his usual style, acts like everything's under control. He launches an X campaign, Justice Above Politics. Creates another committee of independent thinkers. In reality, the same Republican pseudo-intellectuals who think COVID's a hoax and liberalism's a disease. He acts like it's his initiative, like he's a leader, not a guy who just sold his pride for a chance at not losing funding. It'd be funny if it weren't so dangerous, because when someone with this much power over information decides the past doesn't matter and truth is whatever's profitable today, it's no longer a comedy. It's the start of what they'll later call soft fascism of the new century. Elon Musk isn't just an eccentric billionaire. He's someone willingly handing his resources to a man ready to use them for revenge, manipulation, and self-aggrandizement. Against this backdrop, it's clear we're not watching a reconciliation, but a transition to control. Musk didn't come back. He surrendered. He gave up. And next time you see an X post about President Trump making America great again, ask yourself, is this a journalist's opinion? Or Elon's algorithm following orders? A world where Elon Musk apologizes to Donald Trump isn't a world where tech saves humanity. It's a world where tech serves those who shout the loudest and hold the most power. And if we don't stop and say, no, we remember who was who and what they said, tomorrow they'll take away our ability to remember at all. At this point, it's crystal clear. This isn't about a minor internet incident or an awkward phrase everyone will forget. No. What Elon Musk is doing is a political statement wrapped in techno-optimism but reeking of total moral bankruptcy. He's not just apologizing to Donald Trump. He's signing a contract for humiliation, and doing it publicly, with pride, with a smirk, as if he's handing over control of reality under the slogan, "Oh well, at least business will boom." This isn't just loyalty, it's selling himself out, guts and all. With his platform, his reputation, his innovative future idea. Because now everything posted on X, everything Musk retweets, likes, or comments on will be seen through this lens. The man who sold Tesla as a ticket to tomorrow has turned into a servant for an aging autocrat dreaming of bronze statues and TV triumphs. Musk, as always, doesn't do half measures. After his apologies, he went further, started liking conspiratorial MAGA posts, endorsed a rally video where Trump screams about liberals wanting to erase white men from the face of the earth, began reposting Republican mouthpieces who, not long ago, called him a threat to stability for his crypto bubbles and broken X. Moderation. What does this mean? Musk's changing masks again. Once a Silicon Valley rebel, fighting the old system, then a censorship savior, then a meme-loving millionaire. Now, just a guy scared of being left out when Donald Trump returns to power. And that probability, as we know, is growing. Trump, by the way, feels the moment perfectly. He hasn't given Musk an official blessing, but dropped a hint. Musk figured it out. Good for him. He realized which side history's on. Hope others follow his lead. That's not praise. It's a kill shot to Elon's ego. It's like a mob boss telling a restaurant owner, "Good you're paying for protection. It'd be a shame if you went against us." Inside X, changes are already happening. Right-wing voices are being promoted more aggressively. Algorithms push users toward patriotic trends. Those criticizing Trump complain of sudden bans, shadow cow system, banning and vanishing from recommendations. Musk, of course, says it's system glitches. But we know, no system glitches in one direction only. Advertising, it's flowing. but now mostly from companies openly backing the Republican agenda. The rest have fled. Musk's even hinting that import substitution isn't just for Russia. He wants a fully conservative ecosystem. Business, media, tech, all under the True America brand. And guess who's at the helm? Not Trump, not DeSantis. Musk. He dreams of being the shadow architect of a new digital state, deciding who can speak, who gets paid, who gets banned, all under the guise of free speech. But here's the catch. Free speech isn't the right to shout down lies. It's the duty to acknowledge truth. And the truth here is simple. The man who said Trump is dangerous is now wiping his feet on his own words for a nod of approval. He didn't get smarter. He didn't get wiser. He just got scared. Because in a world where one person can control the truth, Elon Musk wants to be close by. Even if it means standing with a sign, "I was wrong. I am loyal. I'm useful." And here's the most important part. Because this isn't just about Elon anymore. It's about us. What do we do when we see one of the most powerful people on earth bend to a cult? How do we react when he hands his platform to lies? Do we stay silent, unfollow, or just laugh and say, "Oh, Elon, at it again"? No, we have to call it what it is, a betrayal of principles. Because if a billionaire apologizes for the truth today, tomorrow that truth gets wiped from the feed. If Musk apologizes for his words today, tomorrow we'll be apologizing for our thoughts. He's setting a template. He's showing, in this new world, it's not the righteous who survive. It's those who say, "Mr. Trump, I'm on your side in time." And tomorrow, he might go further. Appoint a temporary ex-president. Hold online elections on the platform where a pre-approved candidate wins. Launch Trump coin tokens. Make truth a paid subscription. All for the illusion that he's back in the game, that he's loved again, that he's forgiven. But we haven't forgiven. We haven't forgotten. And we're definitely not bowing to a man who thinks remorse is a UI style. Elon Musk is a warning, a living one, with a long thread of scheduled tweets and empty eyes reflecting one thing. Who am I now without power? And now, the climax. We've reached the moment where Elon Musk finally sheds the mask, the one where he pretended to be the man of the future, the innovator, the visionary, the savior of humanity from a boring present. Now, before us stands not a genius, but a failed leader, so desperate to stay in the elite political circle that he's ready to become Donald Trump's doormat. There he is, in a room full of donors, gold flags, and red hats, listening as Trump, without naming him, says, "Some of our great tech minds finally realized they were wrong. Some even called. One said, 'I want to fix it.' And you know, I appreciate that. But remember, I remember everything." Musk listens, doesn't clap, just smiles quietly, like a man who's just been granted access to oxygen again. He's no longer a player, he's a tool, and he knows it. His apologies didn't build a bridge, they forged shackles. He's obligated now, dependent, and worse, he's okay with it. Because when the choice is between being free but sidelined and being humiliated but in the game, Musk, it turns out, picks the latter. And that's a terrifying signal for everyone. Because when someone with access to a global communication platform, to public opinion streams, to millions of users' data, chooses submission over principles, it means one thing. We're officially living in an era of informational feudal dependence, where every billionaire needs a king, where every king demands vassal loyalty, where truth is a function of power, not the other way around. Elon Musk started running Twitter like his own kingdom. He changed the name, rewrote algorithms, fired moderators, gave free rein to conspiracists, anti-Semites, racists, COVID deniers. He said, "I'm fighting for free speech." In reality, he fought for his own freedom to suppress truth. And now, when it's time to choose between principles and profit, he picked Trump without hesitation. Now, X has banners. The future is now. And below, an American flag waving. Sounds like a rocket launch campaign, but it's really a campaign for a new cult. A cult where Trump is the voice and Musk is the microphone. Where what once seemed impossible becomes normal. Where trending slogans are written by people in black gloves from PR offices. Where you can't tell who's human and who's a bot, because the algorithm made them the same. Don't underestimate this moment. Right now, in real time, we're watching the tech elite stop being neutral. They're becoming weapons. And Musk is the first to volunteer for use. He didn't just surrender. He repainted the walls, rolled out the red carpet, and said, "It's all yours. Just don't kick me out of the room." And he could have been anything. He could have been the guy who said, "I disagree with Trump. I won't ban him, but I won't serve him either." But he didn't. He chose otherwise, to be a tool of power. Because Elon Musk doesn't want to be free. He wants to be needed. And that's much worse. Meanwhile, his former allies, those who once saw him as Silicon Valley's voice of reason, are turning away one by one. Scientists, journalists, activists write open letters. Elon Musk no longer represents us. Startups dreaming of his investments now say, "We don't need an investor who swings between reason and madness." And ex-users, they see it all. Amid paid subscribers and political bot accounts, posts flash by. How to go from hero to laughingstock, Elon's textbook. A billionaire who had everything and chose to be a lackey. Too smart to be stupid, so just corrupt. And this won't end with Musk. He's not an exception. He's a harbinger. The first to cross the line, others will follow, because fear is contagious. And if we don't stop this here, if we don't say, no, even if you own the biggest social network, you don't get a pass for cowardice. Tomorrow that network will tell us who to vote for. The day after, who to love. And then, what to think. And Musk? He'll sit in the corner, quietly hitting retweet, because that's all he'll have left. He wanted to be a tech god. He became a herald of fear. He dreamed of Mars. He ended up on Trump's carpet. He built rockets. Now he only launches rumors. And this isn't a mistake. It's a choice. Cold, calculated, dirty. Elon Musk isn't a victim. He's the architect of his own capitulation. And for that, he'll go down in history, not as humanity's savior, but as the first man who sold the future for the approval of the past.